Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the greatest show on earth. This is the AC Show. I am Chris, aka Mr. Cross Science, and this guy right here is my great buddy,
Aaron, aka the Handy Outdoor Nerd. Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight.
Hope you guys are doing really well. I know that this kind of quarantine thing has got everybody kind of down, but today, hopefully, we will be able to raise some spirits, have a little fun, and I hope you guys enjoy the show. If you're watching live, thank you for joining us. If you're watching later on, we also appreciate your views as well. Don't forget to leave a comment down below, things that you'd like to see on the show, any insights that you have on things we're talking about today, and then if you have any ideas for what we can do in the future of the show, go ahead and leave those in the comments as well. And as always, likes also help increase. If you want to share this with people, it helps get the word out, helps them to see the video, and it gives them the opportunity to participate as well, not just you guys. So doing that is also much appreciated by us.
Oh, yeah.
So, Aaron, how have you been doing this week, man?
I've been okay. It's been an okay week. My son's had a rough go of the week, been from last week and this week, tripping and all that. So the weather's been going up and down. So it's 34 right now out. It's been raining all day.
It's 34 degrees right now.
Yeah, 34 degrees. And
Man.
the wind chill so we got 11-mile-an-hour wind, so it feels like it's 26, and it's 96% humidity.
So it's practically summer.
Yeah. So
it's practically summer for you there, yeah?
Yeah. So
it was like 80 degrees today. I had to turn the AC on.
Yeah,
today was like the first day that I actually had to turn the AC on. It's so hot.
We had 80 last week and 70s yesterday or the day before. It's fluctuated a lot this past couple of weeks. So, how's everything been?
Are you sanding something?
I am actually.
Are you sanding something?
I am.
It's super loud. It's like break it. Yeah, it's a little distracting if I'm being honest.
You wanna change the camera view real quick?
Do what?
Want to change the camera view? A little wider. There you go. Now you can see my my background.
I thought you were going to do the green screen thing. No.
Not with this behind me.
Oh, okay.
So, have you printed anything interesting in this past week? Being that everybody's locked down.
See you later, Eddie. Thanks for joining us. You joined, called me hi, and then left.
I see how you are.
But it's good talking to you.
You don't even say hi to me.
No. He didn't say hi. He called me hi. He said that I was hi.
Well, still.
Yeah, actually, I did 3D print something cool. This right here is a base for a fighting robot that I'm working on.
Nice.
And so it's going to have these little motors. They're geared motors, and then it is going to have a top on it, but it's printed so that it can be invertible. And then it's got a big ring that attaches to it so that it can spin around and hopefully do some damage. I was getting it ready for the April 18th Arizona Robotic Combat event that got canceled like 2 days ago. So
yeah, not surprised.
I was working on that. I printed a few other things too, just kind of for fun. I actually wanted to talk a little bit about some things that people could print.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, Brian. How you doing today, buddy? I was going to talk about some things that people could print. Desert Dude, good to have you, man. I was going to talk about some things that people could print in order to try and bust their boredom. There's
Nice.
lots of fun stuff that can be printed and should be printed.
Very true.
And there's also a lot of other stuff that doesn't have to necessarily be 3D printed. If you are if you don't have a 3D printer, which I know that some of our viewers don't have 3D printers, which is totally fine. But if you don't have a 3D printer, we're going to talk about some projects that you can build just kind of in your backyard that would be fun to play around with, especially if you have a family.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, we're going to talk about some of that today. What about you? Have you done anything super fun 3D printing wise?
Let's see. This week, so my wife's working from home, and so she's a speech therapist, and I'm not allowed to be in the same room when she's doing her therapy, aka I'm not allowed to do my printing.
That
But
stinks. I didn't think about that.
so it's because it'd be a HIPAA violation, so I can't
Mm-hmm.
be in the room. But I mean, I could technically start a print, but I've not. This is the first time I've turned my laptop on since last week. I've been busy with a bunch of other stuff trying to get things done. And I actually printed something earlier today, and I'm sanding it down on parts because I printed with supports because, as you can see, it's round. And I want to get those little bumpy supports off. And I'm thinking I'm going to need to slice and print some more to get the proper length. And I'll probably modify the print a bit because this is super thin.
Is that a Harry Potter wand?
No, it's not.
Oh, I was thinking that was the core. Have you seen that print that has the changeable cores? You can print it in different colors, so you can have like a unicorn heartstring or
I did
dragon
not
heartstring or
actually.
whatever.
I
They
did
they
not.
have they have a wand that actually prints in 3 separate parts to give it the right length, and then it has an inner core that you print separately that you can print different colors to represent whatever the core of their wand is, and then it slides in the middle before you glue it together. So nobody ever sees it, but it's just kind of a cool little thing
That is
added
pretty
into
cool.
it. Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Now, I'll show you this part. This part will give it away. So I've got something that I've had for about a year now that I got from a garage sale for $5.
Okay.
And
Is
I
it a
don't
3D printer?
no,
You're the king of getting super good 3D printers for cheap, man.
that's the I like cheap things. Well, I like getting things for cheap, I should say. Because not all things that you get cheap are very good. But
It looks like an arrowhead. Is oh my gosh, is it a crossbow?
no, it's a 3D printable arrow. So mostly sanding them down so the pieces will actually go together. So what I'll do is I'll use my gloop that I have and I will get these to stick together so they stay together. But I mean, it's got a bit of a bend on this one here, so I'll have to kind of heat it up and bend it straight a little
Yeah,
bit.
heat gun it or something.
Yeah, but it will not be long enough for my compound bow that I have.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why I thought it was a crossbow bolt.
So
I
that's
I mean, there's got to be a way to 3D print with the amount of springs and stuff that you get when you. I don't know about you, but I got a whole package just full of springs from various 3D printers, and I just went to Home Depot one day and bought a big thing of springs so I could replace a bunch of springs on my printers.
oh yeah.
And so, a cross bolts, Brian says. Brian, this is what we need you here, man. We need you just simply for the pun game, you know?
He is the king of puns.
Yeah.
One would say he is a punny guy.
I used to be king of the dad jokes, you know? Like 2 years ago, I was king of the dad jokes,
And then you met Brian.
then I met Brian, and I just said, "Why even try?" You know, why? I mean, I can't compete with that. He's too good. He's too good. It's my calling, he says.
All right. So this one doesn't have any fletchings. Let's see if I can get this last part together. There we go. And it's not very straight. It's I don't know if you can see how unstraight that that is. There, that
I know a few people in my town that are. Never mind.
there you go. Look
That's crookeder in my back, man.
uh, so yeah, there's some things that are going to have to be modified. So that's not so cattywampus.
That's an arrow for shooting around corners.
I got it off of Thingiverse, Brian. It is called an emergency arrow. And funny enough, they have 2 tips on it that it comes with, which is the exact same tip. So I don't know why you would just not have the one, but
wiggly_arrow.stl, he said. No, it's on Thingiverse, Brian. It downloads as a zip file, obviously.
So that's my print I did today. So, I mean, it didn't turn out too bad other than the fact that I could probably get a branch and have it fly a lot straighter.
You know, once you gloop it together, you probably could just kind of heat gun it, and you could probably straighten it out pretty good, and it'd be pretty solid.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
I think a lot of it is just because of where the joints are. It's got some wiggle.
Well, and some of the pieces are this one right here. It's got a bend to the piece.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's a golden arrow. But yeah, that's not long enough to pull back on my bow. Otherwise, I'd probably shoot it. Just because this isn't going to have any tension on it. So it's just going to fly through the air. So even though it's all wobbly, and if you've ever seen an arrow fly through the arrows never actually fly straight. They kind of do this and just like this number when they're going through the air. They just wobble.
So it just facilitates that, or maybe it vibrates at the exact frequency to keep that from happening.
Yeah.
I love how it's an emergency arrow because, you know, obviously a spool of filament at a 3D printer is much more difficult to get than a stick.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to see how it works though, honestly. So you have a compound bow. I don't know that I would shoot that with a compound bow. It'd probably just shatter before it even left the thing, but
that's part of the thing is I need to make it longer so it will actually work with the bow. And like I said, was saying, it's not going to actually have any pressure on it. So as long as it's the seams are glooped together, that should be fine. And I mean, it doesn't have any fletchings.
Have you heard of a sling bow?
Yeah.
You just zip tie a whisker biscuit onto the front of a slingshot, and then you put like what do they call those little loops that you knock an arrow on? You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
You just kind of put a string on your slingshot, and then you can shoot arrows with it. And it's not as effective as a real bow, but pretty darn effective. I mean,
oh yeah,
it's dangerous enough that, you know, I wouldn't shoot it at anybody.
True. So
All
so
right.
yeah, I mean, I could go to a hardware store, probably not net. Well, depending on if they're open, but I could probably get a dowel rod, and that would be a lot straighter than
Yeah.
that one.
Well, I would imagine probably the more efficient thing would be a dowel rod, and then just
3D print the tip.
3D print the tip, because even if it breaks every time you use it, I mean, you could. That's the hardest thing to make when you're making an arrow, anyways. Is trying to. I mean, what are you gonna find? You got to find the exact perfect type of rock that breaks at just the right angle so that it can be sharpened or whatever.
Yep.
Unless you're going to forge your own, which if you're in, an extreme survival area or whatever, it's just going to be hard to do that. I mean, not that you would have a 3D printer if you were in that either, but you could make them ahead of time.
Oh yeah, always carry them with you. Have something.
Okay.
So,
So a couple of things.
yep,
First of all, I'm sure that you haven't watched this because you work in television and so you hate TV.
I hate. I only watch whenever I want to watch something. So
Have you seen the Tiger King?
no, I
Have,
knew that's what you're gonna ask. I have not.
have you heard of it?
I have.
Oh my goodness. It's absolute insanity. Like
Did you know that
everyone,
apparently he got COVID-19 while in jail?
that's got to be a rumor. That's got to be fake.
That
There's no way
that's
that's real.
I didn't really click into it. I just saw like he got he's in jail. It's like, eh.
Aaron, the kind of stuff that happens on this show, you can't make up.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't. It's like a train wreck, and it's so disturbing you can't stop watching. I mean, it's horrendous. It's horrible. It's absolute insanity. So, if any of you guys have seen Tiger King, I haven't watched the finale yet, so don't spoil it for me, please. Please don't spoil it for me. But I have seen some things that I never thought possible. The people that purchase exotic cats,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, they're insane.
Well,
They're
obviously.
absolutely crazy.
Well, obviously they'd have to be.
Man, absolutely crazy. This lady, she totally like killed her husband and fed it to her tigers.
Yeah, my wife was telling me about that.
Has your wife seen it?
She's got a coworker that's watched it and which was telling her about that part. So she told me about that today. I was like,
I will say this is not a family show. This is not a family show for sure. Just the language alone. But you just can't look away. You just can't. It's not. It's so bad that it's good, but it's so bad that it's not only good, but then it goes bad again, which makes it even better. I wouldn't say that it's a great show. I would say that it's just like I watched the first episode and I sat there and went, "What is going on? Who are these people? What? What? This is
they're
real
crazy.
life? Absolutely crazy. I didn't even. There's no storyline. Like
Yeah.
there's no storyline because it's all just true. Like, oh yeah, and then this happened, and then this guy's like, oh yeah, and then we killed this guy, but it was just like no big deal. And then he goes to prison, and he was like, oh, but then they let me out early. I'm like, what?
But then
He's
they
like,
let me out
he's like,
early.
so I got all these cats or whatever. It's insane. This guy's like the inspiration for Scarface. Like no joke. He's like he got caught with like something crazy, like a couple like 10,000 pounds or 20,000 kilos of cocaine or something just absolutely bonkers. It's just absolute bonkers.
That's nuts.
Okay, so a couple things that I wanted to talk about today.
Yeah.
Besides Tiger King, I wanted to bring that up just because, holy cow, man! But I wanted to talk first about some 3D printed things that you can do for fun
Yes.
to help keep you from getting super bored. And then I want to talk about some some other homemade DIY games and stuff that you can play with your kids to help kind of get you out of the house. Because a lot of people, there's two things, right? So like one everyone keeps saying, I'm stuck at home. I can't go out or whatever, and that's really not the case. I mean, you are absolutely allowed to go outside. What you can't do is go gather around people. Don't go to places that are like super public places where you know there's going to be 100 other people. Don't
Yeah.
go to parks. Don't go to, you know, the playground. Don't send your kids to go play in the playground. I mean that's a breeding ground for the whole most horrible nasty stuff. But did you just break it?
I was trying to straighten it and I broke it.
But you can absolutely go outside, go play in the backyard, go for a walk, go to the woods and just go for a walk. I mean, there's nobody else around. It's a great time to do that, to get fresh air, you know. All right, Brian, we'll see you later, bud. Thanks for hopping in.
Have a good
So
one, Brian.
go outside, get some fresh air. You do not need to be stuck inside your house the whole time. And then the other thing is, don't go to public places if you can. Hey, go sit on the couch, bud. Don't go to public places if you can avoid it. Like seriously, don't go to the grocery store every day just because you want to get out of the house. If you want to get out of the house, go do something else. Go away from other people. You know, that's like a big thing. Is everyone's like, on the one hand, they're like, I'm stuck at home all day, which is not even true at all. And then the other thing is, I'm gonna go to the grocery store because you gotta eat. Well, yeah, you gotta eat, but you don't need to go to the grocery store every 5 seconds.
Oh yeah.
Brian says, print arrow shaft parts flat using a hexagonal cross section. The layers will be aligned along the length of the arrow, and it'll be stronger.
Yeah. Well, this was just one that was on Thingiverse. I thought I'd check to see if there was something, and this was an actual one with arrowheads.
Was it pre-configured? Was it like one of those files where it has everything on the build plate already when you first download it? So you can't even orient it afterwards.
Well, so in the slicer for my Flash Forge, you can actually cut the things apart or actually separate pieces. So both arrowheads were set in opposite away from each other like this, the points on the build plate. But then you had all these pieces lined up. So you only had so much room between. It's going to be like that. So I cut between here and these and moved them farther away. And then I cut between them. And then I set these upright. Because if you look at it, that doesn't print super well.
Brian is saying Prusa Slicer will let you split objects that are like that.
Yeah, so my slicer let me do that. I need to download Prusa Slicer, Brian, and try to configure it for my Flash Forge, because whenever I print, it likes to do a seam. I don't know if you can see, but it does a seam. Let's see if I can focus that. There, you can see the seam right there.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't randomize it like Idea Maker does or Cura. So that's my problem I have with that. So I need to try to get that to work. Because I did try Idea Maker and it didn't work. It just doesn't allow it. So I've not tried Cura.
That seam is rather unseemly, Brian. Yes.
Yes.
He wins, man. Why I can't even, why do I even try? Like I just
Well,
feel like
I
I'm
like,
never gonna be
how, I
that
like
good.
how he said he's going to go to bed and he has to just keep
And he
being a
stayed.
funny man.
He's a good guy.
laying there,
Flamingo
laying
Kid, how
there
you
in
doing,
bed.
bud?
It's like, night, guys.
Yeah. Anyhow, I'm out.
All right, Brian, I'll catch you later.
We'll see you later, Brian. Thanks for joining. All right. So let me start off. Let's go ahead and share my screen. This one right here. Okay, so first of all, here's some 3D printed toys that I found. Um, tutorial45.com is a kind of a cool website. They have a lot of interesting 3D printing things. It's a little bit like all 3D print, but I guess a little less mainstream. So there are some tops that can be 3D printed, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
This is a really cool puzzle, actually, in these like blocks that stack up in a very specific way. If you don't stack them right, they won't stack. And then you can actually customize the puzzle to make your own custom designs, which is pretty sweet. This is like a shape matcher box. So like I have a 2-year-old right now. He's learning his shapes and he's learning animals and stuff. He's learning how to talk a little slow, but he's getting there. And so this is really cool because it's one of those shape puzzle cubes. They put the different shapes in.
Nice.
So that's fun. This is a die of holding. So it's a D20 that you can put little secrets or messages or whatever into.
You can make a loaded D20. That's what that is.
Well, it's got these slots so you can put in a 3D printed pin, so you could actually like glue it and then break it apart later. This reminds me of those little, the paper origami dies that you can make, and then you can open it up and put something inside.
Yep.
So similar to that, marble runs, which are really
machine.
cool.
Yep.
Have you seen? There's this guy on Twitter that's making these custom marble machines that he has this marble machine generator that you just like click and drag, and you can make a marble machine in like a few seconds. It's totally customized however you want it.
Wow.
Have you seen that?
No,
I'm gonna have to look that up later. It's pretty slick, but I think this is a really cool idea. It goes all the way down to the bottom, and then you just spin that little thing on the top, and it keeps it going up and resets it, which is pretty sweet. I'm not going to get into the name of this, but it's really cool that you can, create threads and nails and stuff, screws and things that your kids can play with. Even a little toy box, which is awesome.
That's pretty cool.
Gearboxes. I actually have a geared heart puzzle that I made for my wife. I made it, I think, for Mother's Day, like a really long time ago, and it took me forever just to put it together for her. The chessbot monster. I think this was designed by Joe Larson.
That is designed by Joe. That is Joe's
3D printing professor. He made a chessbot, and all of the pieces snapped together. I actually have one printed, but I haven't put it together yet. I printed it on a printer that's not super great, and so I haven't really tried it yet. Been too scared to break it.
And if I remember correctly, that actually won him a printer.
I think so too. It was like part of a design contest. It was like his very first ever design contest, and he designed it, I think, before he ever even had a printer.
Yeah.
He told that story on the show, I think, one time.
Yep.
Here's a puzzle with all these little pieces that snap together. This looks like it's maybe laser cut or something, but I imagine you could probably 3D print something similar.
Oh, yeah.
Articulated anything, honestly. These are so cool, and they're so fun and satisfying to watch people just play with them. Little toys. Here's that geared heart that I made. So that's pretty sweet. There's that toy box we saw already. A skeleton that doesn't look
I've seen
easy.
that. I've seen that before.
You've seen this before? This doesn't look super easy to 3D print right here.
No, but I've seen it.
Okay.
I've seen that picture. And I've seen that actually before too.
That's a turtle shell racer. See,
yep.
I think you could just go get a $10 RC car.
Yep.
Strip all the guts out of it, 3D print this bad boy, and just throw it in there. I think it'd be sweet.
Yep, exactly. Little puzzle box.
So this is a puzzle box that is multiplication tables.
Nice.
So so that every time the answer to the question is correct, it opens, I guess. But that doesn't make sense to me because 9 times 8 is 72. But if you look up at the very top here, you can see 7 divided by 6 equals 50. And that's obviously not right.
Yeah, so you have to get the correct one. So
So I'm not sure how you could customize that, but I think that it would be super cool, especially because I got a math nerd 6-year old that would love that.
there you
Little
go.
fidget stars and fidget cubes. This is something that Josh would be into, I guess, huh?
Yep, there you go.
Those look pretty slick. Little dumpsters for his little dioramas that he makes.
Yep.
Cork pigs. I'm not really sure why that would be fun. I guess it would be cute, but
Yeah.
I don't know what you
Yes.
do with it afterwards.
I
I guess
guess
it would
for those
float.
people who just keep drinking their wine, in quarantine. So
I guess so. And then here's a bunch of like useful stuff to 3D print, I guess.
nice.
I was looking for like fun toys, but all3dp.com has a list of things that are just like fun to have, I guess. And so
I
there's
guess.
like jar lids, smartphone stands. This is cool, a little fidgety keychain.
A little gear shift.
So it's a little gear shift, so you can run through the gears with your thumb while you're just kind of sitting there.
Nice.
Watering cap, which is cool because we're going to be starting our new gardens, and I don't know if you know this, but it's really bad to water your plants with a regular hose because it destroys the soil. Erosion, man. Alluvial fans, look it up. I
Well,
looked it
that's
up.
also why I do mine. I don't do mine on the spray. I do it on a mist.
Yeah. Let's see here. Little
Tic-tac-toe.
tic-tac-toe game. That
That'd
would
be
be
fun.
fun. And you could make that really small, and that would be fun to play with your kids or with your
Well,
wife, whatever, just chilling at home.
and I mean, depending on how many pieces you have, you could also customize something if you can design something, because I don't see any other part, but make it so all the pieces go in and it just goes together.
I would think, what if you just printed this box a little bit taller so that it covered the pieces, then you could print two of them and they could like sandwich the pieces between them or something.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty easy to modify. Um, these would be the most epic prank ever. These are hilarious because they look like a camera, but it's just a 3D printed like spider looking thing. So you could totally like at school, I could go into other classrooms and like hide a bunch of these like all over the place. And then people come back from this long break or whatever, they go to their classroom and there's all these like freaking cameras staring at them and stuff.
That's
They'd
funny.
be like, the government, they came up with this COVID-19 just so they could sneak cameras into my classroom. That'd be fun. Let's see here. Mandalorian skull. Again, a lot of these things are cool to have. A center finder,
Yep.
that's handy. Engineering stick. I'm not familiar with this joke. Maybe are you familiar with the joke? I mean, I guess when you get stuck on an engineering problem, you get the engineering stick. I don't really get it, but
No.
I
I'm
don't
not
understand the
familiar with
joke.
it.
This is cool. It's a V-twin engine that attaches to your extruder so that as it spins, it pumps the
Yeah, I've seen that one. That was
pumps the
pretty cool.
arms. So that's pretty slick. Cookie cutters, that would be
Yep.
really cool for my family. My kids love making cookies with my wife. That's one of my son's favorite things. I mean, that's useful, but how fun. It's like, yay, putting my cord away. I don't know. Anything articulated. Like I said, anything articulated is just fun to just play with, you know?
Yeah.
Okay.
A finger fork.
A finger fork. Okay. A hinge, which is useful, I guess.
Yeah, and I've actually seen that, so it'd be kind of interesting how well it would hold up.
I would like to do something like this and attach it to a sheet of like acrylic or something for my 3D printer enclosure.
Yeah.
That would make a pretty cool hinge for a door. A
Yep.
whistle.
Yep.
I don't know that I've ever printed this whistle. I'd like to try it. Personally, I am a track coach, and so what's one thing that I'm really into is like whistles, but like good whistles. And so when it whistles, I mean, you need it to chirp, and if it's not going to chirp, then it's to
Oh, and
me it's
that's
just,
an emergency whistle there too. So that's gonna be
this is one that you
loud.
just want it to be super loud. I've got some whistles that are super loud, but they also chirp. Quick shoe ties. I don't understand how
It's
this thing
the
works, but
I don't know. I mean, it's the purple part on there, so that's
but there's black pieces inside that link it together, and so it almost seems
okay.
like I don't know if maybe it like
Yeah.
stretches.
Well, you kind of just like lock it into place, kind of like the little hooks like this, whatever, to where it just kind of set and lock like that. I think that's what that is.
Oh, I see. So you just undo the puzzle piece, put your foot in, and then reattach the puzzle piece.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. All right. Travel case. Not that you're going to be traveling anywhere right now. Don't go to a hotel. Nasty. Like seriously. Hotels are gross anyways, but especially right now. Webcam cover. I mean, that's
I've
useful.
actually printed those.
It's useful, but I don't know how fun it is. This is supposed to be a fun list. An emergency cash keychain. Um, okay, I mean, money on your keys, I guess. A fidget cube, that's cool.
Yep.
Like it's got a little thumb puzzle, like a little gear shifter,
Yeah.
buttons, switches, things that spin. That's fun. How smart is a one-handed bottle opener? Because it seems like you would have to put it together with two hands anyways, and then grab it with one hand and then use it, right?
I guess just try out
Uh,
for your
Key
keys.
holder,
Yep.
that's good. I actually bought an aluminum one of these off of Wish.com for like $1, and it lasted about 6 months, and
Yeah.
then broke. A flexi hand. It's got a little button in there, so when you push the button, it opens the fingers, and when you release the button, it closes the fingers.
Interesting.
They've got a little video. They've got a little video of it picking up stuff.
Yeah.
Got a little video of it. I mean, it seems like it's got some decent grab on it.
Yeah, it's got some tension in it.
It's got a little bit of tension in it, which is kind of cool. So, I mean,
That's
that's
pretty cool.
cool. That would be fun to mess around with, I guess. I
There you
mean,
go.
keep that in your wallet, I guess.
Well, you could also take that camping with you, or out and about. But I mean, the knife, which one part's going to have to be flat on the bed, but then there's also a toothpick, and I mean, it's not going to do as good as you think it would being printed for the toothpick. But the fork and knife aren't too bad of an idea.
I mean, they'd be good enough for some pancakes, I guess.
Yeah, but if you're having pancakes, you already have your utensils that you really need. So
A cake topper.
that's
I
pretty
sent
cool.
I sent Josh a little video for his birthday. It was this guy celebrating his birthday all alone,
No.
and he's like got everybody gathered around his table, and it's a bunch of Ninja Turtle action figures. Like,
Oh
thanks guys
yes,
for joining me.
yes.
Have you
I
seen
saw
that?
that. I saw that. That was funny.
That's funny. 3D Benchy, just what every 3D printer person needs is more Benchies.
Brian.
Although printing some plastic toys for your kids to play in the bathtub or something like that, super cool idea. You can print a lot of custom bath toys.
And speaking of toys, we don't get anything from this, but our good friend Joe Larson has Printablocks, low poly dinos, Chiba malls. You can
Yeah,
print
that's
those, and a bunch of fun for your kids.
that's where I was headed next, actually. So Joel Larson, 3D printing professor, he has a website, and I'm gonna try and look up. I think if you just go to printablock.com,
Yeah, I believe so. I believe that's
print
what it is.
with a K only, printablok.com. You go to printablock.com and you can see all of his different Kickstarter campaigns that he's done. I think he's running a special right now, so you can purchase the files. There's every one of his Kickstarters comes with over 100 files. It's got so many things to print and a lot of really cool, fun toys that you can print. Low Polysaurus Park, super cool. The low poly dinos that he made. He's even got a big low poly volcano that if you print it with thin walls and you can print it all in one piece, you can actually put a light underneath and you can see the magma like shining through it. It's
Nice.
really, really cool. So highly recommend checking out princhblock.com. I'll throw that in the description after we finish the stream. But super duper awesome. Carabiner.
Yeah.
I've never printed the carabiner before, but I'd be interested in doing a strength test with it to see exactly how much weight it would hold.
Yeah, I think Joel Telling's done some strength tests with them.
Have to try that out. A water saver?
It reduces the flow of the water, I guess, and just how it disperses it.
I guess what it does is it disperses it so that it sprays on a wider path, which I means allows. I guess what it means is that you wash your hands more quickly. But listen, guys, take your time washing your hands. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Let's see here.
Yep, I've seen those cord holders.
Cable holders. These are definitely not 3D printed. I have some of these.
Well, you could 3D print them and get them to look like that.
You could. I'm just saying that these ones are not 3D printed.
Well, no, that's all CG.
But absolutely would be awesome. Ooh, a micro catapult.
I've actually looked at those whenever I was doing the Maker Faire on things to print.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I bet you could print those so fast. I bet you could print 2 of these in an hour.
Yeah, I mean, you could technically fit them on the same bed.
Yeah, you could probably print 2 of them on the same bed, print them both in an hour. That would be sweet. That's a good idea. I'm gonna look that one up later. Well, smartphone stands, we already talked about those. A shark comb. Okay. Ooh, spirographs? Do you guys remember spirographs?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, you could 3D print that. That's a sweet idea. I love it. I'm definitely gonna try that out.
That'd be a lot of fun.
I'm definitely trying that out. Toothpaste squeeze. Oh, kids, make sure that you brush your teeth. All right. Brushing your teeth is fun. You heard it from all3dp.com. A book holder for one hand.
Yep.
That's good. Oh, bookmarks. They look like owls. You can 3D print a wallet? What?
Nice. I would definitely use some flexible filament for that. Not just regular PLA. There's flexible PLA.
Oh yeah, these business cards that you break apart and make into little things. Did you look into these when you were doing the Maker Faire?
I did, and I chose not to. Just because I wanted the ease of not having to deal with little pieces with kids.
Yeah. Photo frame. Oh, that hangs with a push pin.
Nice.
That's cool.
Headphone holder.
It's always fun to wrap things up. A little iPad stand.
Nice.
Okay. Oh! Don't look, people! Don't look! Oh, don't look! Oh no!
Speaking of Lego,
come after us.
Did you see that Amy's grandparent passed away?
I did not see that.
Yeah.
Amy DD?
Yep.
I did not see that.
Yeah.
Chopsticks holder?
There you go. You can do it one-handed. For those who are chopstick challenged.
A can holder? You can drink that soda.
You can hold that can.
You can hold that can.
How many cans can you hold with a can holder in one hand?
Just one. If you only have one can holder.
Well, if you have multiple can holders or you modify it to
but you said a can holder.
Well, you can modify it.
A coin trap. Let's see. Okay, so you put this in while it's printing, I guess?
I believe so.
Okay. Little dog. All right, I think that's it.
All right.
And then the last thing that I want to talk about, guys. Hey, Paul, how you doing today, buddy? Good to see you. The last thing I want to talk about is some other DIY, like just outdoor backyard games. I was searching through Pinterest and found a few ideas for just some super fun games that you could play. This one looks super awesome. Just
Yes, I've seen that actually.
I mean, I think that you could easily make this if you just cut a hair tie, you know? Cut a hair
Oh,
tie, stretch it through. This would be super easy, super fun wood project to make. Um, that would be super fun. And then just use some checkers, right? Or you could 3D print little pucks.
yeah,
Cube. Have you ever played Cube?
I have not.
It's like a mixture between bowling and chess. It's actually really, really interesting. So you have these little blocks that you have to knock down with these sticks. And then once you knock down all of these blocks, you get to knock down the king block, which is in the middle of the area, all using these sticks. The kicker is every time I knock over one of these blocks, I get to throw it onto your side.
Hmm.
And then every time that you kick over one of these blocks, you get to throw it on my side. So what can happen is you might end up with around one of what could happen is I could knock over almost all of your blocks. Let's say I knock over all of your blocks, but I miss the kingpin. And then it becomes your turn. It becomes your turn, and you knock over 6 blocks with all 6 of your sticks. And then all of those blocks come back over to my side. And now I'm stuck with 6 blocks defending before I can even try to hit the kingpin. And so it can very easily flip the game. It's really, really fun, actually.
Well, you know, if you were Spider-Man, you could hit Kingpin pretty easily.
Well, or if you were Daredevil.
This is true. So Wilson Fisk is a fairly hefty guy.
Yeah. We got big slingshots, dominoes, cornhole. This is a ring catch. So you build it's like an upright, almost looks like a hangman's thing, and it's got a ring hanging on a string on one side, and you swing it back and forth and try and hook it onto the hook on the other side.
Nice.
Just a fun little boredom buster. Oh, I mean, this is cool. I mean, ping pong balls on golf tees with squirt guns. I mean, especially once it starts to get hot. Giant tic-tac-toe out on the grass. Oh, this is cool. This is what's the game where you pull the straws and you try not to drop the marbles?
Is it Don't Lose Your Marbles or Kaplunk?
Kerplunk. That's it. Kerplunk. Kerplunk.
Don't,
So that's
don't lose your marbles, Kaplunk.
giant kerplunk. That's cool. There it is. There's another picture of that right there.
There you go. Nice.
Yeah. So there's all kinds of really cool things and fun things that you can make. Soccer ball with some buckets, some bungee cords. I mean, this wouldn't be too hard to make, and it wouldn't be that expensive either. And a lot of stuff. I mean, if you are a maker, if you're somebody that just makes stuff anyways, like me or like Aaron, that just on the weekends you just make stuff, you probably have a little stockpile of wood or something else. Like I've got some cedar fence pickets that are just sitting out there in the shed doing nothing. I've got some 1x2 oak pieces that are just sitting out there doing nothing that, you know, you could easily turn into any of these games, you know?
Yes.
Ooh, a bubbles reloading station using an old, what do you call that? Washing detergent.
Yeah.
That would be super cool. Oh, giant Guess Who. Look at that.
Nice.
I mean, that would be some effort to make that, but holy cow, that would be fun. Yeah. So, anyways, there's lots of really cool ideas. Pool noodles you can get at the dollar store. You know, you might even have a few of them. Cornhole is super fun. Horseshoes. There's a lot of stuff that could very easily be 3D printed. That
Oh,
could
there you go.
very,
There's a tic-tac-toe cornhole.
yeah, there you go. Tic tac toe cornhole. Well, it looks like it's upside down to do
The
the
tic-tac-toe.
tic tac toe, but I bet you could play tic tac toe cornhole.
And that's kind of cool. You can play tic-tac-toe or cornhole.
But
So,
but what I'm saying is, I bet you
oh yeah, you can play. You can
flip it over
play.
and you could.
Yeah,
That would be
just throw it
super
from a
epic.
distance away. That'd be kind of fun.
I like this lawn twister.
Uh huh.
So it's got two little cubes that are just set with like one dowel rod or something going all the way through. So you spin one to determine what body part you use. You spin the other to determine the color, and
That's
then
pretty
it's
cool.
just a big sheet with like spray painted dots.
Nice.
Mini golf.
There you go.
You could easily customize a little mini golf thing. Jenga, obviously.
Yep.
More ring toss. There's lots of cool ideas. If you guys just go to Pinterest and you just type in DIY backyard games or DIY anything really, you can get all kinds of really cool, fun ideas, things that can keep you from getting bored that are pretty easy and wouldn't require much money or even time to do. So
Yeah. So
basically, the point I'm trying to make is go outside and play.
yeah.
Don't let people make you think that you can't go outside. Of course you can go outside, but the point is it's not about going outside, it's about staying away from other people. My dad, he's 60 years old. He has been diabetic since he was 27, and he had a kidney and pancreas transplant. So because of that, he has to take these immunosuppressants that basically destroy his immune system. And you know, because of the way that it goes, I mean, if my dad caught COVID-19, he'd die. I mean, that's simply it. He would die. So he's got to stay home. But if my parents need groceries or whatever, I'm doing the best that I can to help. But if you can stay away from other people, stay away from other people. But that doesn't mean you have to do that inside your four walls. You can go in your backyard and play. You can go in your front yard and play. You can go on a hike or something like that where there's not going to be any other people. That is super safe and even encouraged in the state of Arizona. When they came out with the stay home decree or whatever, they said stay home, but find a way to go outside. You need to go outside. You can't just sit in your house all day long. You will go crazy. You
Yeah.
will. You will go full on Tiger King. You will go full on Tiger King. I'm telling you.
Oh yeah. So it's coming up next Sunday, right?
Super Bowl.
Totally. Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I do not. Apparently not. You're talking about the virtual Rep Rap Festival?
No, I did not know anything about that, but no, that's not it.
You don't know about Verf, dude?
No.
Because they canceled Murph, right?
Yes.
So they decided we're going to do Murph, but we're going to do it virtually. So now you can get a virtual ticket instead. And then it's going to be like a live stream that you can go and see people's booths and exhibits and stuff like that virtually because we can't gather as a group. So it's a way for makers to connect even during this time.
But does the virtual ticket cost? That's the thing.
I don't know. I haven't looked into it. I know that Joe Larson, because he wasn't going to go to Murph originally, but he just signed up to go to Verf. So we'll have to look it up. I'll look it up after the stream and I'll put a link down in the description if you guys are interested. But it definitely sounds interesting. Anyways, what's next Sunday? I don't know about.
Oh, come on. You should know this, Chris. It's April. What is next Sunday?
Oh, you're talking about Easter?
Yes.
Oh yeah, of course, Easter.
You got any Easter projects coming up?
I found a couple of fun Easter things to 3D print. Some little toys. I wanna take my kids outside and we're gonna plant a garden. I've already got the seeds started right now, and I've got a couple things popping up. Should be super cool. And then I'm gonna take the boys outside and we're gonna plant jelly beans and see if we can grow a candy tree.
There you go.
You just replace it with those candy carrots later. They grow like overnight, dude. Have you ever done that?
Nope.
It's amazing. They're right here watching a movie.
Oh, I know. No. So I've got a project I'm going to be kind of trying to work on. My wife asked if I could print my son an Easter basket. Well, I said I could print him an Easter basket. We don't need to buy one.
Is it going to work or?
Well, it's
printing right now.
No.
Oh.
I've got to get it set to do it. So I don't know if I'll do it on next week's show or if I will just have it printed and ready to go. I'll probably just have it printed and ready to go. And then the files for anybody who wants to print it.
Are you going to design one?
I'm going to modify something.
Okay. All right.
Because I'm a nerd.
Who's not around here, you know?
Well, this is true.
Paul, you and your friend did some lawn bowling. Did you make your own lawn bowling? Because that would be super cool. I'd be interested in some pictures of that. If you have a Twitter or something, that'd be fun to see.
Yes, but if it all turns out, my son will be having a shell of a good time.
Is that a hint? A Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles related hint? Do you remember? Oh man, what was the name of that show that was like exactly like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but it was sharks?
Street Sharks.
Street Sharks. Exactly.
I watched Street Sharks.
You ever go back in time and see some of the TV shows that you used to watch and go, "Holy cow! I used to watch this show."
I have Street Sharks on my server.
You got a Plex server?
Oh yeah. Yep, I've got a Plex server. I've got Street Sharks. I've got Sonic. I've got a lot of older cartoons that I used to watch. So,
did you ever watch those old like Nickelodeon shows that weren't cartoons but they were kind of for kids, like Pete and Pete? Do you remember Pete and Pete?
Vaguely.
Oh, Pete and Pete. It was a show about two brothers that were both named Pete, and one of them had a tattoo on his arm that was a woman, and he called it Petunia, and the kid was like 12 years old, and he would wiggle his arm and Petunia would dance. And his arch nemesis was Paper Cut, and he would always throw paper and you would have to throw a rock so that you would lose. And then afterward he would like fold paper into like a knife and he would like give you a paper cut. You remember that? Paul says G.I. Joe.
Yeah, I watched G.I. Joe a lot. I watched Batman. I watched Street Sharks. I watched Erie, Indiana. I watched Goosebumps. I watched
Goosebumps, man.
Oh yeah.
Did you watch Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Uh-huh.
Or All That?
All That actually was one that I was thinking of whenever you talk about Nickelodeon stuff.
Oh yeah, I remember All That.
Two Angry Beavers.
Oh yeah, some of the commercials in that era were just terrible.
Arnold.
Oh yeah, I'm talking like these are the shows that I watched a couple episodes of, and then I decided, like, where is the world going? These are the predecessors to, you know, all those stupid shows that are on nowadays, like Ren and Stimpy, and Rocko's Modern Life.
Watch Rocko.
Those are just terrible shows, man. Some of the stuff that they do on those shows, they're adult, man. It's like, holy cow, are you kidding me? They're supposed to be kids shows.
Yeah. Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Ed, and Eddie. I remember that show. Yep. I distinctly remember getting
what we need is
cat dog toys from Taco Bell.
Free Ed do Ed and Eddie show. YouTube show.
We should we should get 3 Eds in the maker community, and then just see if we can get them to come onto our show and
Play the
do a
Ed, Ed,
special
Eddie.
Ed and Eddie. Do a special Ed and Eddie episode.
Well, we've got one Eddie.
We got Eddie Moser. I don't know if he's gonna go on the show, man.
He said he would.
He said he would. He also makes a lot of excuses about his internet not being so good. So we'll have to get with him, see if we can convince him, because he's a super cool guy, and I'd like to have him on the show too. So we'll see if we can convince him to come on.
Always fun having Eddie on. Just chilling with Eddie. Period. Eddie's a really cool guy.
Well, I feel bad that my trip to Seattle got canceled because I was looking forward to hanging out. I was looking forward to buying him a strawberry milkshake, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand that, but that's kind of how everybody's plans have been. So,
what do you do? You know, what do you do?
Vacation at Joel Chilling's house.
We should do that. Just get together.
You know, he's got that apartment that Sean lived in for a while above his garage.
Just go party.
Just, just rent it for a week. And
there you go.
Just stay there at his house.
Have him put it on Airbnb or something.
There you go.
All right. You got anything else for us tonight? I think we're at that hour mark. We're about ready to shut it down, unless you got something else you want to bring up.
Do not actually. This and then the print that I'm going to do. I do have another thing I'm going to do. It finally clicked back in my head. One, we're all doing gardening stuff. You, me, and our good friend, Mr. Got Bored, Josh.
Oh man, I should have invited Josh to be on the stream too.
Oh, that's all right. We'll have him on next week. How's that? And I'm going to create some printable things to start seeds in.
Reusable?
Oh yeah. So something so people can start seeds in, and you can just print them out and start your own garden.
Yeah.
So.
Hey Paul, thanks for joining us, man. We'll see you later, buddy.
All right, Paul, have a good one. So I will probably crank that out sometime soon. That way I can get that file out and people can use it.
Nice.
So.
All right. Well, anyways, guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. If you're watching this live, thank you for joining us live. If you're watching a repeat of this, thank you so much for staying to the end of the video. As always, any likes and comments are appreciated. If there's anything that you saw in here that you've made before, please go ahead and post a picture of it. Tag us on Facebook or on Twitter. I'll make sure that I have our bios linked down in the description. Thank you guys so much for everything that you guys have done. And we will talk to you next week over on this guy's channel.
All right. Catch you later, everybody. Have a good one.
Happy making.
Take care and stay safe.